All right, everyone. Welcome back to Business Lessons, the weekly show that airs every Saturday at 7 p.m. on the Emotional Confidant YouTube channel. If you want to join us, it's super easy. Every Saturday at 7 p.m., just search for Emotional Confidant on YouTube, and the first video you see should be the newest episode. So today we're going to talk about something incredibly important: how to overcome anger in just 5 minutes. And honestly, the reason I decided to make this episode is because last week, one of my students sent me a story. And I want you to really listen carefully, because I think at some point in life, most of us go through situations like this. Even hearing the story made me angry for him. So here's what happened. My student and another guy used to be business partners. They opened a shop together, and at first, everything seemed fine. But after some time, once money started coming in, problems started showing up too. Little by little, disagreements turned into conflicts. There were arguments, tension, and disputes over profit and responsibilities because in the beginning, they never clearly defined who was responsible for what or how things would be divided fairly. And eventually, they started fighting constantly. My student kept saying, "We agreed on this from the start, so how can he suddenly change everything now?" He became so angry that he couldn't even focus on work anymore. His mind was completely consumed by frustration. He felt stuck, exhausted, and emotionally drained. So he emailed me asking for help. And that's exactly what today's episode is about. Now look, I'm not some enlightened monk who never gets angry. I still lose my temper sometimes too. We're all human. But over time, we learn, we grow, we discover methods that help us manage ourselves better. To be honest, I used to be an extremely hot-tempered person. Even now, I still get angry sometimes. But the method I'm sharing with you today can really help. Maybe out of 10 times you get angry, you'll be able to calm yourself down 8 times. And maybe only 2 times will get out of control. And trust me, that already changes a lot. Now, the method itself is actually very simple. It only has 2 steps. So let's start with step 1. Step 1 sounds simple, but it's probably the most important part of the entire process. Honestly, I think it's even more important than step 2. Whenever you feel anger rising inside you, and really practice this, you need to tell yourself one thing. Give yourself 5 minutes before reacting. That's it. You don't need to memorize anything complicated. Just remind yourself. Let me give myself 5 minutes to process this anger. Those 5 minutes are there to stop you from exploding emotionally, to keep you from reacting impulsively. And listen carefully. After those 5 minutes, if you still want to yell at someone, argue with someone, or cut somebody off, that's your choice. But please, hold yourself back for just 5 minutes first. That's step 1. Very simple. Nothing magical, nothing complicated. But you have to be able to do this before moving on to step 2. Now let's get into step 2, what you actually do during those 5 minutes. The first thing you need to figure out is this. Is your anger being caused by a person or by a situation? Because those are 2 very different things, and they need to be handled differently. If someone you know, maybe even someone close to you, makes you angry, then we approach it one way. But if it's a random situation or a stranger who upset you intentionally or unintentionally, then we deal with it differently. So first, let's talk about anger caused by people. The kind of anger where your blood starts boiling. The kind where you feel deeply irritated and can't stand that person. Here's what I want you to do. And again, remember step 1 first. Give yourself 5 minutes. Then during those 5 minutes, sit somewhere quietly and close your eyes if possible. You don't need a special place. You can even sit right at your desk. If there are too many people around and you can't close your eyes, then just look down at your feet and try to focus inward for a moment. Now I want you to imagine the person who made you angry. Maybe it's someone who betrayed you. Maybe it's someone who insulted you, hurt your feelings, or disrespected you. It could be a family member, a coworker, a friend, anyone who caused you pain. I want you to picture their face clearly in your mind. If possible, close your eyes and imagine them standing right in front of you. Now here's the important part. Imagine slowly moving that image farther away from you. Just a little bit at first. Picture their face becoming slightly smaller in your mind. Then push the image farther away again and again. Keep using your imagination to move them farther and farther away from you, until eventually they become nothing more than a tiny dot in the distance. And you'll notice something interesting. Your anger starts to soften, because even if it's only happening inside your mind, you've created emotional distance between yourself and the person hurting you. And by the way, this isn't superstition or some mystical spiritual trick. This is actually a technique that's been used in many forms of psychological therapy and emotional regulation. And no, I'm not saying you're mentally ill or anything like that. This is simply a very effective mental exercise that helps calm the nervous system and regain emotional control. Second, we're choosing to face the person who truly hurt us instead of running away from the pain. And by mentally pushing them farther away from us, little by little, we start taking back control inside our own minds. Now, if you keep practicing this over and over again, eventually you'll notice something powerful. That person slowly loses the ability to hurt you emotionally. Really remember this part, okay? All we're doing here is giving ourselves 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. And during those 5 minutes, when you mentally push that person farther away, your body and mind naturally begin to calm down. And once you feel calmer, go for a short walk if you can. Take a few deep breaths. Shift your attention toward other things in life. Things that have nothing to do with the person who hurt you. Now, in the beginning, I know it won't be easy. You probably won't be able to instantly forget the pain, the anger, or the disappointment they caused you. That's completely normal. But here's what I want you to remember. Every time the anger comes back, repeat the exercise. Picture their face clearly in your mind. Look directly at them in your imagination. And then slowly push their image farther and farther away until they become nothing more than a tiny black dot in the distance. And in your head, tell yourself, "You're just a tiny dot in my life. You are nothing to me anymore." If it's someone your age or younger, say it that way. If it's someone older, then say, "You no longer have the power to hurt me." That's one of the ways I personally saved myself from emotional pain caused by other people. And sometimes, those people were once very close friends of mine. That's how I got through it. And by the way, this method is backed by psychology too. It's not just random advice. So remember, if a person hurts you emotionally, try applying this method. Now let's move on to another situation. What if the person hurting you isn't someone you know? What if it's a stranger? Or maybe it's not even a person at all. Maybe it's just an unexpected situation that suddenly triggers anger inside you. How do we calm ourselves down in those moments? All right, here's what I want you to do. And again, let me repeat this so you don't forget. Before step 2 ever begins, step 1 must already happen first. Give yourself 5 minutes before reacting. Now, If a stranger or a situation causes emotional pain or anger, I want you to always carry two things with you. First, a small notebook. Second, a pen. Keep them in your bag, your pocket, or your wallet. The notebook can be tiny. Honestly, if you don't have one, just fold a few sheets of paper and carry them around with a pen. Now, why am I telling you this? Because when something hurts you emotionally, I want you to write it down. Face it directly. That's one of the healthiest ways to overcome anger, by confronting it, not escaping from it. A lot of people try to avoid pain. They shut down emotionally and act like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to think about it. But that doesn't solve anything. In fact, the more you run away from emotional pain, the more it chases you and slowly tortures you inside. If you look at people who completely break down mentally after emotional trauma, many times it's because they spent too long running away from what hurt them instead of facing it. So instead of running, we face it head on. Sometimes we even push back against it mentally. Let me use myself as an example here. As you know, I make educational videos online, and strangers on the internet constantly say hurtful things about me in the comments. And honestly, making these videos takes a lot of effort, a lot of thinking, a lot of time, a lot of emotional energy and money. Sometimes it takes an entire week just to create one good video. So imagine working extremely hard on something you genuinely care about. And then someone shows up just to insult you. Some people don't like the content? Fine, that's normal. They can leave. But instead, they stay just to throw hateful comments at you. And remember, I'm not even doing entertainment or celebrity drama content. This is an educational channel. Now today, I'm already used to it, but I want to tell you how I handled it in the beginning. Sometimes people would comment things like, "This guy definitely came from some MLM scam. He's a fraud." And honestly, reading comments like that used to make my blood boil. Think about it. Imagine you're a student or an employee. You spend days preparing a presentation. You work hard on it. You stay up late. You feel proud of what you created. Then, right in the middle of your presentation, someone stands up and says, "You're stupid." Would you feel angry? Of course you would. Anyone would. And in your head, you'd probably think, if I saw this guy in real life, I'd lose it. Right? I'm using simple, everyday language here so everyone can really understand the emotion. So what did I do? I wrote the exact comment down on a piece of paper, word for word. This guy definitely came from an MLM scam. He's a fraud. I wrote the whole thing down. Now this next part is very important, so really pay attention. After writing down the thing that hurt you, ask yourself this first question. Is this actually true? Ask yourself honestly. Then circle the words that hurt you the most. For me, the two words that hit hardest were MLM and fraud. Those were the two words that hurt me the most. The two words that made my blood boil. The kind of anger that makes you want to grab the person insulting you and scream at them. So then I asked myself the first question. Is any of this actually true? And deep inside my mind, I answered honestly. I looked directly at the parts that hurt me the most, and next to them, mentally, I wrote one word. No. That was the first step. Am I actually a scammer? And from the bottom of my heart, I answered myself, no. And remember, I'm reenacting the internal conversation I had with myself back then. I'm not trying to defend myself to you guys right now, so don't misunderstand the context here. I'm talking about self-dialogue, the conversation I had inside my own head. Is this true? And I focused on the two accusations that made me the angriest, and both answers were, no, that's not true. Was I involved in MLM? You guys have literally seen me make videos warning people to be careful about MLM schemes. So I told myself honestly, my name has never appeared in the records of any MLM company. And I felt proud saying that to myself. That accusation was false. Then I moved to the second accusation. Am I a scammer? No, I'm still living peacefully at my own house. The police have never called me. Nobody has filed a lawsuit against me. And honestly, if anything, I could probably sue someone for defamation instead. So again, the accusation was false, which means the conclusion became very clear. And remember, write all of this down on paper. Don't be afraid to write it out. My conclusion was this: these words are false accusations, baseless insults, someone talking recklessly without actually knowing anything about me. That was my conclusion. And by asking myself that first question, is this actually true? I slowly regained my confidence and started calming down emotionally. Then, I asked myself a second question. Is there any real reason behind these accusations? I thought about it carefully. And honestly, no, there wasn't. That person was just talking for the sake of attacking someone. They had no evidence, no understanding, no facts. So I returned to the same conclusion. This person is just insulting me to satisfy their own emotions. Then I asked myself, does this person even deserve the power to hurt me emotionally? And my answer was, no. People who make up lies and throw out false accusations like that are toxic. So I made a decision. I don't want this kind of person in my life anymore. If they were someone online, I blocked them immediately. If they were a friend, I'd block their number, remove them on social media, cancel plans, and distance myself completely. I wouldn't want someone like that close to me. And if it were a coworker, then I'd stay professional, but cautious. I'd keep my distance and be more careful around them. If it were my boss, then obviously I couldn't completely avoid them. But I would still stay alert and careful with every interaction. And if after a certain amount of time the situation still couldn't improve, then maybe I'd even consider leaving that job altogether. That's how I personally deal with situations like this. And as you can see, this example still overlaps a little with the anger caused by people category from earlier. I originally wanted to separate them completely, but real life is messy. Sometimes emotions and situations overlap. So I wanted to give you real examples that feel relatable. Because at the end of the day, the goal here is simple. Calm yourself down, get through the anger, and find a healthy way to handle it. For example, when I block someone insulting me online, I never have to read another comment from them again in the future. Platforms like YouTube and Facebook let you do that. They can still sit there typing long, hateful comments for 15 seconds. Maybe even 3 whole minutes if they want. But I only need 1 second to block them. That's it. And honestly, I probably won't even read the comment anyway, because I already use filters on YouTube to automatically block a lot of that negativity. And just like that, my peace is protected. I not only stop the anger in the present moment, I also prevent future anger from the exact same source. Now let me give you another example. This time, the anger comes from a situation caused by a stranger. Let's say one day your laptop battery suddenly dies completely. Not weak battery, I mean fully broken. So now your laptop only works when it's plugged into a charger. And maybe you have an important project or presentation to finish, so you go to a coffee shop to work. Anyone who uses laptops knows how stressful this is. The second the charger gets unplugged, the laptop shuts off immediately because there's no battery backup at all. So there you are at the cafe, working hard, typing away for hours, trying to finish something important. Then, suddenly, another customer sits nearby. And this person has one of those huge laptop chargers. You know how cafes usually only have 3 or 4 power outlets, right? And those giant chargers block multiple spots. So what does the guy do? He unplugs your charger for a second so he can rearrange the outlets and plug in his own charger. But he has no idea your battery is dead. So the moment your charger gets unplugged, your laptop instantly shuts down. Everything disappears, hours of work gone, and your deadline is coming up soon. Can you imagine that situation? Honestly, it would make your blood boil. You'd feel furious. So what do? Run over and punch the guy. I mean, emotionally, in that moment, you probably want to. Because you have to understand, when you spend hours working hard on something, and suddenly it disappears because of someone else's careless mistake, the anger feels overwhelming, especially when you're already stressed. So here's what I want you to do. Yes, maybe you want to yell at him. Maybe you want to explode. But hold on. If you still want to explode after 5 minutes, fine. 5 minutes later is not too late. But first, give yourself those 5 minutes. Sit down. Stay silent if you need to. Don't say anything yet. Then take out your paper and write down exactly what's hurting you in that moment. Write it down clearly. And yes, when you're angry, your thoughts sound rough and emotional. That's normal. I'm using everyday language here because I want this lesson to reflect real life honestly, not sound like some unrealistic textbook lecture. So maybe you write, "This guy made me lose all my work and data." Then circle the part that hurts the most. Lost all my work. Lost all my data. Those were the 2 things that hurt the most in that situation. So remember, circle them in red. Now ask yourself the first question again, just like in the earlier example. Is this actually true? This guy made me lose all my data and all my hard work. Is that true? And then you start thinking about it carefully. Well, honestly, he didn't do it on purpose. He had no idea my laptop battery was broken. That's true. But at the same time, it's also true that he should have asked first. At the very least, he could have said, "Hey, is it okay if I unplug this charger for a second?" Because nowadays, a lot of laptops have battery problems. He should have checked before touching someone else's charger. So, yes, part of it was his fault. If he hadn't unplugged the charger, I wouldn't have lost my files. That part is obvious. So now we've answered the first question. Was the situation real? Yes, partly. Now we move to the second question. Is there any other reason this happened? Besides the fact that the other person unplugged the charger without asking, and this is the part where you really sit quietly and reflect. Because eventually, another uncomfortable truth starts appearing. If my laptop battery hadn't been broken, this whole situation would never have happened. Then you think a little deeper. Oh, if I had chosen a better outlet position, maybe he wouldn't have unplugged mine in the first place. And then another thought comes. If I had saved my work more often, I wouldn't have lost everything. And then another realization hits you. When you're emotional, your thoughts start pouring out one after another. You suddenly think, in this world, besides your parents, your spouse, or your children, nobody is automatically responsible for protecting you. People are busy thinking about their own lives. So honestly, when I saw someone walking toward the outlet, maybe I should have spoken up first. Maybe I should have said, "Hey, my laptop battery is dead, so please wait a second before unplugging anything. Let me save my files first." That would have prevented everything. So, after asking those 2 questions, we finally arrive at the full picture. What was his mistake? He unplugged someone else's charger without asking. Fair enough. But what were my mistakes? Not replacing the broken battery, not saving my work regularly, choosing a bad outlet position, and honestly, not understanding how life works sometimes. Most people are focused on themselves. They're not automatically thinking about your problems. So, if you know you're in a vulnerable situation, sometimes you need to protect yourself first. And then, I ask myself something important. So, who really caused most of this suffering? Me or him? And when I looked honestly at the situation, I realized something surprising. Maybe 20% was his fault, but 80% was mine. So then comes the next question. Who should I deal with first? Obviously the person with the bigger responsibility, myself. And then the solution became very simple. Instead of fantasizing about yelling at the guy or attacking him, maybe the smarter thing to do is just buy a new battery. Because once I fix the real weakness in the situation, a lot of future problems disappear automatically. After replacing the battery, even if someone accidentally unplugs my charger again someday, I won't lose my data anymore. And suddenly, the anger starts fading away. Not only because I calmed down emotionally, but because now I actually have a real solution. That's the important part. This method doesn't just calm your anger. It helps you discover what action you need to take next. And once you solve the root problem, you also prevent future anger caused by the same situation. That's why this method matters so much. So remember this carefully. When your anger comes from strangers or from situations in life, follow these steps. First, write down exactly what hurts the most. Second, ask yourself honestly, is this actually true? Then answer that question calmly. After that, ask yourself, are there any other causes behind this situation? And finally, come to a conclusion and take action. Honestly, step 2 might sound complicated at first, but it actually becomes much easier once you've completed step 1. Because by then, you've already given yourself time to pause, calm down, and think clearly. That's why step 1 is so important. Practice giving yourself those 5 minutes. And don't wait until you're angry to practice it. Practice it when you're calm, when you're having a good day, when your mind is clear. Train yourself to think, if something makes me angry someday, I'm going to give myself 5 minutes before reacting. That habit is absolutely essential. And yes, it's difficult. Of course it is. But everything valuable in life requires practice. Everything meaningful takes effort. You have to learn how to care for yourself emotionally. Because so many people destroy their own lives through uncontrolled anger. Some people spend their whole lives being kind and gentle, then lose control one single time, make one terrible decision, and regret it forever. Other people hurt someone deeply during a moment of anger and spend the rest of their lives wishing they could take it back. And honestly, many of the wounds you carry today probably came from people who also failed to control their anger. So if you learn to control your own anger, you also reduce the chances of becoming the reason someone else suffers. I'm not asking you to become perfect, but if out of 10 moments of anger, you can control even half of them, life already becomes so much more peaceful and beautiful. And before we end today's episode, I hope you'll share this message with other people too. Maybe post it on Facebook, maybe send it to a friend. Even if out of 500 friends, only 4 or 5 people truly watch it and apply it seriously. Maybe you've already helped prevent future pain, future conflicts, or future regret in someone's life. And that alone is already something meaningful. Let's spread more calmness, more understanding, more emotional awareness. Anyway, thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Take care of yourselves. And I'll see you again next Saturday at 7 p.m. Thank you, everyone.